So hello everyone, now let us see the continuation for Euclidean algorithm, that is extended Euclidean algorithm. So what is the continuation for Euclidean algorithm? Extended Euclidean algorithm. See here, in addition to that, what we'll get, s and t are the two variables we are getting in addition to a comma b. The extended Euclidean algorithm is also to calculate GCD of a comma b. At the same time, we have to calculate the values of s and t. This is only the difference. See here, a, b already we have. So what we are doing in addition, we are getting s and t. Okay. See here, a and b are two integers we already know. In addition, we are getting s and t to find the GCD of a comma b. So extended Euclidean algorithm is also to find the GCD of a comma b. But here in addition, we have to calculate the values of s and t also. See the process. This is the process of. This is the entire process of extended Euclidean algorithm. Same way, a is initialized to r1. B is initialized to R2. By dividing A and B, we are going to get R. This R value given to R2, R2 value given to R1. This process is repeated until R2 is 0 and GCD will be R1. This is exactly Euclidean algorithm. This is exactly Euclidean algorithm. See, initializing A and B values to R1 and R2. When dividing A and B, getting remainder R, passing this remainder R value to R2 and passing this R2 value to R1, continuing this process until R2 is 0 and our GCD of A comma B will be R1. This is exactly Euclidean. So what we have to do? We have to find S value, we have to find T value. These two are the two additional things we need to do in extended Euclidean algorithm. For that, what we are doing, initially s and t values are set to 1 and 0. This is the key point you should remember. Initially s and t values should be set to 1 and 0. See here, we have divided s into s1 and s2. We have divided t into t1 and t2. So t is divided into t1 and t2, s is divided into s1 and s2. Again the same process. S1 is 1, S2 is 0. By dividing S1 and S2, we will get S. This S value given to S2, S2 value given to S1. Remember, S value given to S2, S2 value given to S1. This should be repeated until S equal to S1. See, again we got S1 and S2. Divided and got S. This process will be continuously done and finally when S equal to S1 we will stop it. See, S1 is 1, S2 is 0. Divided 1 and 0 we got S. Passed those values and so on we have continued like that until the S is S1. So this S2 will be 0 finally and this S1 value will give to S. See one more time. Initially S is divided into S1 comma S2. Dividing S. Why we are dividing? So for S1 we will give 1, S2 will give 0. Same way what we are doing in Euclidean algorithm, the extended Euclidean also same. Passing the S value to S2, S2 value to S1. Until when we should do? This S2 should be 0 and S1 should be yes. Same way we have to do in the form of T also. See, T is divided into T1 and T2. Here reverse we have to do. T1 is 0, T2 is 1. And same process. Divisioning these two will be T. T will be given to T2. T2 will be given to T1. This is followed until T2 equal to 0 and T equal to T1. Very simple, you should remember. What we are actually doing in Euclidean algorithm, same thing we are doing in extended Euclidean algorithm also. See here you can understand very easily. First you have taken A comma B, two positive integers you have taken first. What you have taken? A comma B, two positive integers you have taken. R1 equal to A, R2 equal to B. Till here you know it is Euclidean algorithm. What we have to do here? Take S and T. So S is divided into S1 and S2, T is divided into T1 and T2. See here, A given to R1, B given to R2. S is divided into S1, S2, T is divided into T1, T2. So S1 is 1, S2 is 0, T1 is 0, T2 is 1. This is initialization. So A comma B, two integers, R1 equal to A, R2 equal to B. S divided into S1, S2, T divided into T1, T2. So S1 equal to 1, S2 equal to 0, T1 equal to 0, T2 equal to 1. This is the initialization. Now always R2 should be greater than 0, means GCD of A comma B, B not equal to 0. So R2 equal to B. So R2 should be greater than 0. Done. What will be the coefficient? When R1 divided by R2, that will be coefficient. That step also finished. Now to perform S values and to perform T values, see we have the steps. So R tends to R1 minus Q into R2. R1 tends to R2. See, R1 value given to R2, R2 value given to R. Same S1 value, S2 value given to S1, S value given to S value given to S2. This is same. So the GCD will be R1. Finally GCD is R1 only. See here, the variable S1 and S2 are initialized to 1 and 0. Respectively, the variable T1 and T2 initialized to 0 and 1 for calculating RST. What is the rule we should remember? To calculate RST, these three variables, S1, S2 given to 1, 0, T1, T2 given to 0, 1. Why it is initialized like this? To calculate RST. So remember here, R is R1 minus Q into RS. S is S1 minus Q into S2. T is T1 minus Q into T2. Very easy to remember. In R we have R1, R2. In S we have S1, S2. In T we have T1, T2. So what is the formulas? R equal to R1 minus Q into R2. Here you have R1. S equal to S1 minus Q into S2. Here you have S1. T equal to T1 minus Q into T2. T1 here you have. R2, S2, T2 here only you have. Q is nothing but quotient. See, remember? In R we have R1, R2. S we have S1, S2. In T we have T1, T2. Q is coefficient. So all the values here only we have. So R equal to R1 minus Q into R2. Every value here only we have. This is the working of extended Euclidean. Here we are performing an example. Let us see the example for extended Euclidean. We have taken two positive integers A and B. A equal to 161, B equal to 28. Now you should perform GCD of 161, 28. See, R1 equal to A equal to 161, R2 equal to B equal to 28, and you also have to find the values of S and T. Till here you know, right? A and B are two positive integers 161 and 28, which are R1 and R2. So by applying these formulas, see, first you have taken R1, R2, 161, 28. Then by dividing 161 and 28, you will get the remainder 21, quotient 5. Quotient we are not going to consider. This remainder 21 is given to R2, This R2 28 is given to R1. Again divide 28 21. Remainder is 7. This 7 given to R2, 21 given to R1. Again dividing 21 and 7, remainder 0. This 0 given to R2 and 7 given to R1. Now GCD will be 7. GCD of 161, 28 will be 7. How GCD of 161, 28 will be 7? A, B are taken as R1, R2. Don't consider coefficient. Only consider remainder. R value should be given to R2. R2 value should be given to R1. This should be done until R2 equal to 0. R1 will be GCD. This is clear. Now, calculating S value. So, S1 will be 1, S2 will be 0. By dividing, we will get some S value. This S value given to S2, S2 value given to S1. Again dividing S1 and S2, we will get some S value. This S value given to S2, S2 value given to S1. So again by dividing S1 and S2, we will get S value. This S value given to S2 and this S2 value given to S1 next one. So minus 1 will be the S1 value. Finally. Same way CT also. T1 equal to 0, T2 equal to 1. Performing the operation we will get T. T value given to T2, T2 value given to T1. Performing the operation again we will get T. T value given to T2, T2 value given to T1. This T1 value finally will be T value. So GCD of 161, 28 is 7. Value of S is minus 1 we have here. Value of T is 6 we got here. So this is the example for extended Euclidean algorithm. The same process for calculating GCD. What we have done in Euclidean algorithm, the same process to calculate extended Euclidean also. In addition, we are performing some S values and T values. T is 6, S is minus 1. So until we get S equal to S2, we should stop. See, S equal to S2, 4 equal to 4. Stopping and finding S1 equal to 1. So S1 equal to S. See here, S value is 4. S2 value is also 4. Same. So we stopped the process. S1 is minus 1. Ultimately S1 will be the S value. Same way, T equal to T2. T2 equal to minus 23. See here, T minus 23, T2 also minus 23. So we stopped. So what we have done? T1 equal to 6, T1 equal to T, so T equal to 6. This is extended Euclidean algorithm. So our next topic is modular arithmetic. The relationship between A equal to Q into N plus R. The relationship between A equal to Q into N plus R is discussed here. Now we are discussing modular arithmetic. In this, where we have 2 outputs and 2 inputs, reduced to 1 output and 1 input. See? So now we are discussing modular arithmetic. In modular arithmetic, we have the division rule A equal to Q into N plus R. In these 2 inputs A comma N, 2 outputs Q comma R will be there. But in modular arithmetic, we are interested in 1 output, that is remainder R. So the modular operation is shown as mod. The input N is called as modulus. Output is called as residue. So input N equal to modulus. Output R equal to residue. So see, discussing about modular arithmetic, in general we will have 2 inputs and 2 outputs, but here only we have 1 input modulus and 1 output residue. We are taking Z integers, so performing some operation, some division on Z, where A equal to Q into N plus R. Here N also input, A also input, Q is output, R is output. See, taking integers, For division operation, we are giving two inputs, a comma n. Output is also q comma r. But in modulus, what we are doing? So only one input n, modulus. One output or residue. This is the difference between division and mod operation. In both cases we are taking integers z. Here giving two inputs a comma n, getting two outputs q comma r. Here also we have taken z integers, but n is modulus, only one input, n is input modulus, residue is output. So we are discussing about modular arithmetic. A equal to q into n plus r is the division rule. In division rule we will have two inputs a comma n and two outputs q comma r. But in modulus n is the input called as modulus. R is the output called as residue. So next example, see here some examples I have taken. 25 modify. Some examples I have taken. 27 modify. So 27 dividing 27 by 5. Dividing 27 by 5. Okay. So first one is performing 27 modify. Nothing but dividing 27 by 5. 27, 5, 25 and remainder is 0. So here this R is residue 2. Next one 36 mod 12. Nothing but 36 dividing by 12. So what will be? Residue will be 0. See the first two examples, 27 mod 5 and 36 mod 12. In these two we are dividing 27 by 5. Residue is 2. Next we are dividing 36 by 12. Residue is 0. So next two also same. Minus 18 mod 14 minus 7 mod 10. So dividing minus 18 by 14. Residue will be minus 4. Dividing minus 7 by 10. Residue will be minus 7. So minus 18 when divided by 14. Residue will be minus 4. So minus 7 when divided by 10. Residue will be minus 7. So this is modular arithmetic. So set of residues, this is very important. Set of residues is nothing but, residue is nothing but R is nothing but output. So what are the set of residues we have in modular arithmetic? The set of residues is denoted with Zn. So Zn. See Zn equal to 0, 1 and so on to n minus 1. If I want Z of 2, it will be 0, 1. See set of residues. Residue is denoted by R. R is nothing but output. Here the set of residues is denoted with Z of n. Z is integers and n residues. So set of Z of n will be 0 to n minus 1. See here if I want Z6, it will be 0 to 5. Set of residues denoted with the help of R. Now this set of residues is R is nothing but residue and output. So Z of n is nothing but set. This set will have from 0 to n we are having, so n minus 1. If I want 9 elements or 11 elements, that will be Z of 9, Z of 11. Z of 11 will be 0 to 10. So this is the next topic, linear Diophantine equation. Linear Diophantine equation. So linear Diophantine equation. So let us discuss this. So see here, linear Diophantine equation will have variables as ax plus by equal to c. We need to find the integer values x and y. We need to find the integer values x and y. This types of equation will have no solution or infinite number of solutions. What are the points you need to remember? Linear Diophantine equation is nothing but ax plus by equal to c. Here you need to find x value and y value. These types of equations either will have no solution or will have infinite number of solutions. See, If D plus C is achieved, then it will have no solution. If D mod C is achieved, it will have infinite number of solutions. So either it can have a particular solution or it can have a general solutions. Linear Diophantine equation. What is that equation? Ax plus by equal to C. Here you have to find x value and y value. If it satisfies D plus C, it will have no solution. If it satisfies D mod C, it will have infinite number of solutions. So generally, linear Diophantine equations will have particular solutions or general solutions. See, particular solution means x naught equal to C divided by D into S, y naught equal to C divided by D into T. This is the particular solution. Particular solution means having one solution. General solutions, x equal to x naught plus k into bd, y equal to y naught minus k into ad, k is the integer. So remember, linear Diophantine equation, which means ax plus by equal to c. Here we should find x and y values. This can be no solution or infinite number of solutions. If it is d plus b, we will have no solution. If it is d mod c, we will have infinite number of solutions. And the important thing is, here we can have particular solution or general solution. Equation for particular solution is x naught equal to c divided by d into s. Equation for y naught equal to c divided by d into t. Same way for general solutions, x equal to x naught plus k into b by d. Same way y equal to y naught minus k into b by d, where k is the integer. So let us see the example. We are taking equation 21x plus 14y equal to 35. By taking this equation 21x plus 41y equal to 35, let us solve the linear Diophantine equation. So this is the solution. So see here, what is the equation we have taken? 21x plus 14y equal to 35. This equation we have taken. So a equal to 21, b equal to 14. R1 equal to 21, R2 equal to 14. So GCD of A comma B will be 7. See, 21x plus 14y equal to 35, A equal to 21, B equal to 14. So R1 equal to 21, R2 equal to 14. By solving this equation, GCD will be 7. So why GCD is 7? 21x plus 14y equal to 35. So 7 3s are 21, 7 2s are 14, 7 5s are 35. See, by division with 7, what we have done? Division by 7. That's what they have given here. See, we have D. D is nothing but GCD of 21 comma 14. GCD of 21 comma 14 is 7. Why it is 7? Because by division with 7 we will get 3x plus 2y equal to 5. So till here we have done Euclidean algorithm. What we have to do now? Using extended Euclidean algorithm, we have to find x comma y values, nothing but s comma t. See, first using Euclidean algorithm. Next we are using extended Euclidean algorithm. Using Euclidean algorithm, you should find GCD of A comma B. Using extended Euclidean, you should find S comma T. Here S comma T are nothing but x comma y. And AB are 21 and 14. The GCD will be 7. So till here you know. So using extended Euclidean, what we have done? So what is the equation we got? 3x plus 2y equal to 5 we got. So what we will do? 3s plus 2t equal to 1 we will confirm. This s and t we got from extended Euclidean. So s will be 1, t will be minus 1. By substituting these values we can get general solution x naught and y naught and regular solution x and y. After obtaining general solutions and particular solutions, we can conclude this. So see once again. This is linear differential equation. For that example, we have taken 21x plus 14y and 35. So to solve this, what we have to do? First we have to perform Euclidean algorithm. By Euclidean algorithm, we are calculating the GCD. A equal to 21, B equal to 14, A is R1, B is R2. Doing all these and performing Euclidean algorithm, we will get GCD equal to 7. Next, extended Euclidean algorithm. Calculating S and T values. Assuming S equal to 1, T equal to minus 1. By performing these also, we got the equation as 3x plus 2y equal to 5. 3x plus 2y equal to 5. Now what we have to do? By taking all these things, we have to perform particular equation and general equation. So in particular we will get x naught and y naught. In particular we will get x naught comma y naught. Using this x naught and y naught, in general we will calculate x comma y. See here, x comma y can be 5 minus 5, 7 minus 8, 9 minus 11 and so on. So k is not the single value. In linear differential equation, k is any integer, it is not single value. So we are getting xy values also, so many values. So you should understand, first performing Euclidean algorithm, next we are performing extended Euclidean algorithm. Now solution for this can be calculating all these things. K is the integer, we don't have a particular answer for k. So first we will obtain x naught and y naught values by taking s equal to 1 and t equal to minus 1. Taking s equal to 1 and t equal to minus 1, we will get x naught and y naught values. By using x naught and y naught values, we will calculate x value and y value. While calculating x value and y value, k is not a single value. So the x and y values can be 5 minus 5, 7 minus 8, 9 minus 11, anything. So see here, this is the formula for x. This is the formula for x naught. This is the formula for y naught. So GCD of A comma B, GCD of 21 comma 14 we obtained as 7. So S we have taken as 1, T we have taken as minus 1. GCD is D. So see, listen to me. A value is 21, B value is 14. GCD of A comma B is 7. GCD is nothing but D. S we assumed as 1, T we assumed as minus 1. By substituting all these values in x naught and y naught formula, we got x naught value, y naught value also. By substituting x naught and y naught values here, we will get x value and y value. See. So here D equal to 7, S equal to 1, T equal to minus 1. So x naught equal to 5. Y naught equal to 5. These all the values we got. So D equal to 7, S equal to 1, T equal to minus 1, x naught and y naught we substituted by substituting this. That is x naught is 5 and y naught is also 5. By substituting all these values in x and y, since we don't have a constant value for k, we got different x values and different y values. So let us see what we have discussed today. We have started the mathematics of cryptography. So we have started the mathematics of cryptography. We discussed about integers, divisions, division rules, Euclidean algorithm, extended Euclidean algorithm, and using all these things, finding the GCD, examples for that, and finally linear differential equation. Using all these things we have solved. So continuation we will see in the next class.